And welcome everybody to the Mental Health Hour. I am Derek from Suck It Podcast, and as always, joined by my beautiful host of the Teachable Soul podcast, Miss Kat Daniels.
Hello.
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Surprisingly well.
Surprisingly, eh?
Surprisingly well. Shit happens, and we move on. But surprisingly well.
Yeah. Ooh, what are
Mm.
you drinking there? It's a big giant glass.
It's a big giant glass of iced coffee, is what it is.
Oh,
It's my kick me
that
in the
sounds
ass morning
delicious.
juice.
That's nice.
So how's everything going with you?
Fine.
Just fine.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Actually, Hubby had to go away on a work trip, and so he's been gone since Thursday. I think he'll be back on Sunday.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah. But so Sunday I cleaned the whole house. And so, and then my kids helped, which I love it when they do that. And it was great. And
Yeah.
then I journaled for the first time since I was 12 years old,
Hey, that's pretty awesome.
right?
So
You know
my
why?
why? Oh yes, please go ahead.
My mother read my journal and I never kept one again. I left it around the house because I felt I trusted them enough to do it. And my stepbrother at the time read it apparently and told my mother, "You should probably really read that," and basically ratted me out. And I mean, I don't know.
That's fucked up because I mean that's like your personal thoughts, you know.
Right? Like it was a trust thing. It was a
Yeah.
huge trust thing. And
Yes.
I mean, it
Well,
was a huge trust thing. And she should not have done that.
well. Speaking
But
of journals,
hmm
that's the great thing about the app BetterHelp because
mm,
there's an electronic journal inside of the app.
nice.
And
Can
if you
your
go,
counselor see it?
huh? The
Can
counselor
your
cannot see it. The
counselor?
only person that can see it is you. And it's
Oh, cool.
password protected and everything. So if you go to www.betterhelp.com/SIPod, you
Right.
get 10% off. Um,
Nice.
so, there's another thing about, see how a little segue to the sponsorship?
Yeah. Who doesn't want a discount on mental health services? That's the best thing
Yeah.
ever.
And the truth be told, I mean, I've started to use the service as well, and I actually had my first counseling session last night.
Ooh, cool. How'd that go?
It was actually really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
um
Was
it
it
was
comfortable? Because like you were in your
yeah.
house and like
I was
chill.
laying chilling in my bed, talking
Yeah.
to my counselor,
Cool.
virtually.
Yeah.
Um, it was a video call. It was really cool. It was really nice. And I've been talking to her all week long through text and stuff like that, which is really cool. You can do through the app. So I mean,
Yes.
it's overall really really cool.
My husband
Um,
actually did that, like, was
yeah,
able to text his, it wasn't through BetterHelp at the time, this was, like, a year ago, but he actually did that while he was deployed. He was able to text and email back and forth, and I thought that was so helpful that you
it
can just,
really
like,
is.
email them or text them whenever, that's,
Yeah.
I think, such a great thing.
Um, yeah. So I mean, BetterHelp is amazing. So definitely check them out again. That's www.betterhelp.com/SIPod, as
That's
in
awesome.
Suck It Podcast, SIPod, for
Right.
10% off. That's your total subscription, not 1 month or anything else. No, it's 10% off forever. Um,
Nice.
so it's a great little deal. But so you know what happened to me this week?
What happened to you this week?
My 9-year-old, my
Mm.
my youngest child,
Mhm.
turned 10 on Friday.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So
Oh
they
my god, 8 years left with her.
she needs to
Oh.
go.
Bro, I felt the same way about my 7-year-old last night.
Yeah. But
She was copping an attitude.
that's what kids do, unfortunately.
Yeah, I called my mom because so there are stories. I um I am I am an infamous 2-year-old in my family. Um there are stories. Um the police got called one time because I was screaming and crying so much because I just didn't want to go to bed that the neighbors thought that somebody was abusing me. And so the police came to the door, and my mom was like, "Well, if you think you can get her to sleep better than I can, then go right ahead." And they left. So I called her because, she has told me multiple times that I'm the only child of hers that she has put the mother's curse on, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically that that mother hopes that you have 3 more children just like you, type thing, so that you can reap what you sowed.
Sown.
Sown. Yeah.
What you sown, yeah.
Okay. So I called her last night just to make sure that wasn't me. That's all my husband. But I'm going to call my mother-in-law just to confirm, so that when my husband comes home, I can be like, it's all your fault.
So before I go into my story, so in about 10 minutes, we have a special guest joining us, and my brother. So this is going to be a deep episode. Shit's going to be talked, and it's going to get emotional. So, bring your box of tissues. Yeah.
Oh, right here. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to get deep. So that he'll be on in about 10 minutes. I just talked to him. He's on his way back to the house, so he doesn't want me doing it while he's driving, obviously. So I don't want him doing it while he's driving, obviously. So he'll be on in a few minutes. So definitely check that out here shortly. He'll be on. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. So a similar situation happened to me when I was a baby as well. I was crying so loud that the neighbors called the cops, but they thought, because I was so loud, they thought I was in the driveway. They thought my mom put my crib, or just put me out in the driveway. So
that's amazing.
So they showed up, just to make sure that that's a funny story.
That is a funny story. How old were you?
I don't know. My mom told me the story, so I have no idea.
Well, yeah, my mom told me the story.
I had to be, maybe a year old, maybe. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's too funny. But nothing like that ever happened with any of your kids, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, same.
No. No.
I wonder if that has anything to do with, how did you open the door? I don't know how my little dog just opened that door.
Maybe your daughter didn't shut it all the way earlier.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But anyway.
I'm going to close the door real quick.
Yeah.
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 Hold on. You're not supposed to be able to see my shorts. I only dress from here up for this. Sorry.
You're not the only one. Some days I'll just be in my chair, talking to guests, my boxers or whatever.
Right.
As long as it's from here up, it's fine,
Exactly. As long as you don't have to get up.
Exactly. This show is exactly what that is. So
yeah.
It's a great thing about being a talk show host. You can kind of, that running joke that even the newscasters don't wear pants.
Right. Exactly. Podcasters now officially, for real, don't wear pants.
Podcasters don't, because they're not seen on live camera.
Nope. Well,
they might not even wear shirts.
You are.
Well, the thing about it is my podcast, I do live on video.
You also have a video cast, yeah.
Yeah, so mine's a talk show podcast, all around show.
Yeah, but what were you saying? Sorry.
No, I completely forgot. Anyway, so you and I talked briefly yesterday, about how you were going through some stuff. And yeah, I'm doing it. I
hate you.
I know. That's what this show's about.
And
you can't call me a dick on this show. This is not Suck It Podcast.
Why not?
Because only on Suck It Podcast do we call each other names.
It's going on the same YouTube channel. I can call you whatever I want.
That's true.
Okay.
So what's going on? And you can be discreet if you want.
It's really just mostly internal stuff. And so it's kind of weird because so last year around this time, this is August. So last year around this time, I was kind of feeling a similar way. And it seems to be in line with, I mean, I don't know if it's in line with, but like, I don't know if it's the seasons changing or that I just have, I mean, stuff to work out. Cause I mean, I do, we all do, but it seems like sometime around like the end of August, beginning of September, I start just wanting to be very introverted, which is not normal for me at all. And last year around this time, I contributed it just to my dad because he was sick at this time and dying, and it was a hard time.
Yeah.
And I mean, last year, because of all that, I got so stressed out that like my tongue did a weird thing that it's never done before in my whole life. And every doctor and specialist, by the way, that I went to didn't know what was going on. And so he just like gave me a generic antibiotic and some steroids and said, well, hope this works. And luckily it did. But I still don't know what it was. And so I don't think that I hope that won't happen again this year.
Yeah.
But I just, to be honest, so like one of the things is Sunday when I was cleaning, I was like, it's cleaning day. Okay.
Yeah.
And while I was doing it, and I gave the kids their tasks to do, and we all do the things at the same time so that we're all like team working it, and it never feels as if, so that nobody has the opportunity to feel as if they're being taken advantage of or doing less or more than someone else. And but while I was doing it, I was like, why do I always do this whenever Jesse's gone? And I do, like, this is how we clean whenever my husband is gone. Whenever he's here, that's not how any of this goes at all. Okay. And even my son, I had not said anything out loud, but even my son said, why do you only do this when dad's gone? And I'm like, I don't know, actually. I've been kind of wondering that and thinking about it myself, which is what led me to the journaling, because I don't know. I'm trying to decide if this is if something, whether me doing it or not doing it, whichever one it is a response to the way that he and I used to interact with each other because it was so toxic. And I'm still like have some PTSD from that, or if, I mean, I don't know if like whenever he's here, I rely on him too much, maybe, and he allows me to rely on him too much or something like that. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. And so, I mean, it's just stuff like that I'm trying to work through and figure out. You know, my mother was a single mother. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, given the conversations that I've had with my sister as well, I genuinely don't know if I'm a good wife. I don't know if I know how to be a wife. And I'm sure that that's something that I could potentially learn, but I genuinely, I feel better and more myself when I'm being a single parent, which is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of in my life.
No, I mean, when did your parents get divorced?
Before I was 1.
Exactly. So that's how you were raised. So you saw your mom being independent. You saw your mom raising you guys. And you're visiting your dad whenever, every other weekend, every weekend, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. So that's how you were grown up. So that's what you saw. Someone like me who parents got divorced when they were when I was 15. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit different. Or parents who still are together to this day. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things. I mean, like with Izzy, for example. I mean, she's only ever known me and her mom being together. So I mean, her situation is going to be different from yours. So I mean, you know, it all depends on, the situation. It's that whole nature versus nurture thing. So I
Right.
mean, in this situation, it could be nature. I mean, because of how you were raised. You were raised by a single mom, and you saw the independence of it all, and maybe you want that, maybe you don't. Who knows? But maybe at the same time, it could just be subconscious, speaking out.
Right.
So I mean, it could go either way.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, it all depends on just what you want and what who you guys are. Um,
Well, and I think that on a subconscious level, so like when I was growing up, I always wanted to have kids, but and a career, but I never really, and I always, of course, wanted to have a spouse, a loving person, but like I didn't plan my wedding when I was a kid. That wasn't something I ever desired really, or like pined for. I pined for a career and kids. The rest I just assumed, I guess, would come with it, but I never planned for stuff like that. And so, I mean, I think a lot of it is the way that I was raised. And of course, I'm more comfortable in a situation that I have been in my whole life, basically, with, either with or as a single parent. But I, uh, I just don't know, especially with our history, obviously, how to move forward and um, either not be so reliant on him or not be not too independent, I guess. You
yeah,
know?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough one to swallow.
Mm,
Yeah, it's a lot.
right? Yeah. Which is why I'm like, I need to write all this out because I don't even know how I feel, honestly.
Yeah, and it's we've been talking about this a lot off the air because but and I didn't know that's what you were dealing with. Otherwise, wouldn't have brought it up. So I do apologize. um,
Cool.
let's just hope he doesn't watch the show.
I mean, even if he does, I mean, I know it's about me. It most likely has nothing to do with him at this point.
Yeah,
He has fixed all the things that he needed to fix. He has.
yeah.
So
Then
now
that's
I just need to fucking
work
figure
out.
out how to not be an independent woman, I guess.
Well, no, it has nothing to do because you could be an independent, strong woman, in a marriage. It doesn't
Right?
necessarily mean anything else.
Yeah.
Being a strong, independent woman in a marriage, doesn't take away from your individuality. Doesn't take
Right.
away from your independence. You can be, I mean,
Right. But like
like
one
we
of
talked
his
about before.
tips.
Hold on, because like we talked about before, it's not your husband's job to make you happy.
No,
It's nobody's job to make you happy because that's
exactly.
impossible. I mean,
Right.
the only person that can truly make you happy is yourself.
Right.
So that's something that obviously that you need to work on. So I mean, if you now you can be happy because of somebody, but they can't make you happy.
Right.
So I mean, if you choose to be happy because of what he's doing and how you're being treated, then that's okay. But if you're still internally unhappy because of something else is going on with you, that's something that you need to work on.
Exactly. But and so like one of his love languages is acts of service. And so he shows how he loves me or how much he loves me, I guess, with acts of service on occasion because that's how he wants it shown to him.
Hmm.
And that's not in my love that's not one of my love languages, but I have come to understand that that is one of his. And so if he does an act of service for me, it's a big deal for him. Like he feels accomplished when
Yeah.
he does stuff like that. And I would never want to look at something that someone does and feels proud of and be like, sorry, I just don't like it.
Yeah. And that's one of the biggest problems with the love languages stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, if, like we talked about last week, mine is, words of affirmation and physical touch.
Hmm.
Um, his if his is, you know, acts, that you do for him, that's great. But if
Right.
but think about it, since he knows he loves it when you do stuff for him, he takes that and reverses it and does, even though it does not the same thing, but
Right.
him doing it shows the fact that he loves you and stuff like that. So it kind of like acts of service can go both ways.
Oh yeah.
Him servicing you, giggity,
Yeah.
um is his way of showing he loves you too. So I
Yeah.
mean, it kind of works both ways. You can, by you doing stuff for him makes him feel good, but at the same time, him doing stuff for you makes him feel good.
Yeah. But it can also have a negative effect because, like, if I ask him to do something and he doesn't do it, I'm extra pissed because I know that's one of his love languages, and I feel like he should prioritize it higher.
That's valid. No, I mean that's 100% valid.
Yeah.
But again, it comes back down to, you know, what those acts of service mean and what exactly those acts of service are. I
Mhm.
mean, if his acts of service is cooking for you,
Mhm.
just hypothetically speaking, but not taking out the trash,
Mm.
oh, that's just stuff.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, you can't interpret what is all going on in his own head.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Can you hear the kids in the background?
a little bit, but that's not a problem.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. So I mean, it's like that perception. You can't assume anything. Um, Hold on, we're getting a comment.
But
But
you
you
also
also need to communicate about your own love language. Just because it's not someone else's love language doesn't mean that they can dismiss it as a needed element of the relationship.
Oh no, yeah. That's one of the things that he fixed was I'm a very physical person. Um and yeah, that was one of the major things that he fixed. He is much more physically affectionate to me than he ever has been our entire marriage in the last year.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's been communicated and that's been fixed. It's just, marriage stuff when he doesn't take out the trash and I get irritated, or if I ask him to, mow the lawn and it doesn't happen for a week, then I get irritated, you
Yeah.
know. And then at that point I kind of start feeling like um well, if I was going to do it myself, I might
Yeah.
as well just can do it and get it over with when I
S-
asked you to do it instead of having to ask you to do it type thing.
Have you communicated that to him?
Communicated what part?
What you just said.
I mean, when I mowed the front lawn and told him after he left that he didn't mow it or weed eat like I asked, yeah, I told him
But
that that's what happened.
you told him after he left.
I reminded him twice before he left for over a week.
But did you hold on now? Hold on.
Okay, now I hope he doesn't watch this video.
Okay, but hold on. Let's back up for a second.
Mhm.
So look at Maddie's comment again. It's not about just communicating the task, it's about communicating why. So if you're like, hey, if this is truly, you enjoy doing these types of stuff for me, or if you truly, enjoy me doing stuff for you,
Yeah, I
when
got
I'm asking you to do something, it means a lot when you get it done.
yeah.
And if you're just, ignoring it because you don't prioritize it, that hurts.
Yeah,
Especially if that's something that he considers a love language.
right. That's a valid point.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not like, God damn it, I've told you to mow the lawn 3 times fucking this week.
Mm,
It's not about that. It's about the over communication.
yeah.
It's not about just communicating the task. It's about
It's about
communicating the reason.
communicating how hurtful it is whenever his
Correct.
fucking love language is supposed to be acts of service, and I ask him to do an act of service out of love for me, and he fucking doesn't. And that's
Exactly.
hurtful. Yeah.
And there you
Agree.
go. And that's what you need to be communicating,
Okay.
not the actual task repeatedly over and
You're
over and
not
over again.
wrong. You're right. Otherwise, it's just nagging.
Actually, no, that was Maddie. That was right, not me.
Oh, well, okay. Both of you.
I'm just reading her comment and just elaborating more.
Mm,
And communication is a two-way street. You express why you have this expectation or request, and he should have to communicate why or why he will not complete it. That's that's exactly what I just said.
So, since we're on this topic, okay, so one of the issues that I had in the beginning with him of my marriage, and this kind of ties into what this is, was that if I asked him or if I said to him, "Hey, I need your help with something," and not, "Hey, I want you to do something for me," like, to me, the word need is a huge deal an indicator for me because I don't like to ask for help. And so if I say, "Hey, I need you to do something," I honestly a little bit kind of expect you to basically just say how fucking high at that point when I use the word need. And I don't know why. I don't know where I developed this because I didn't even know that it was an issue for me until one time I asked him, I said, "Hey, I need your help." And he said, "Why?" And I immediately like got angry. And when I explained why, and he still like excused himself out of it, basically, I was like, fine, I'll get somebody else. And I was still very angry about it. And so I feel kind of the same way when I ask him to do something. Like I feel like it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like I ask you to do something and you don't, and I'm hurt because you don't, and because it's your love language and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I got you. No,
But
it makes complete sense.
do you get upset when when you're like, "Hey, I need help," or "Hey, I need you to do something," or "Hey, I want you to do
And
something"?
they don't do it.
Right.
Depends on what that need is. Like if it's a personal, hey, I need you to do this for me because I'm feeling a certain way, then yes. But if it's like, hey, I need you to do this because I physically can't, or something like that, it's a little bit different because, it's something that I just can't do in that moment. But if it's an emotional need, I'm all about it. Um, yeah. So the emotional need is something that I do get angry about, especially if I'm, say, for instance, I'm having an argument with Christina, and she turns it around on something that, say, for instance, it's something that I need, and then she's like, "Well, I need it too." Well, this isn't about you; it's about me right now. Um, you know, if I'm the one starting the argument and I'm the one bringing up the conversation and I'm saying, "Hey, you're not doing this for me," and then you turn around and say, "Well, you're not doing it either," that's not the that's that you're on mute.
Oh, I hate that.
I do too, and her and I have talked about that. And it's just one of those things that just sucks. So when I'm having that emotional need, that's when I'm talking about it.
That's interesting because I'm the opposite. Like if it's emotional need for me, I'm more tolerant if you're like, "No, I can't do that right now." But if it's like a physical need that like I physically can't do something and I have to ask for your help,
Yeah,
I get pissed if you try to tell me no or say something else. Like
yeah.
pissed.
All right. Well,
Brother here?
yeah, he's here.
Yay.
You guys ready to do this? Let's
Yep.
bring on our special guest. Live from Key Largo, Florida, my brother Chad.
Hey
Hey,
guys.
brother.
Dad.
How are
Hi.
you?
Hi.
I am busy.
Busy.
Busy moving into your new place, right?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So how's you?
I'm okay.
Just okay.
Adjusting. Moving from one big place to another is quite a task for someone like me. So
Yeah.
it's hard to adjust.
Yep. So you just moved to Key Largo from Hawaii, after spending a year in Hawaii, and you're working on getting your
Master instructor.
master instructor, and yes. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So let's just get right to it, I guess. So you deal with a lot of the similar shit that I deal with. However, you deal with it on a more extreme level. So, what are some of the things that you are diagnosed with? Just to kind of people understand where you're coming from on this stuff.
Bipolar type 1 with dissociative disorder. Um, Massive anxiety problems. I hallucinate. And all the above are pretty much enough for me.
Gotcha. But there's more to it than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot more to it. The
Yeah.
the mood swings, the I can't get out of bed, even if I'm supposed to go to work, I will just lay there, and the consequences don't matter,
Mhm.
just because that's how you are at the time.
So, how long have you been dealing with this?
Well, that's a tough question.
Hmm.
I've been diagnosed for almost 5 years now, but I've been showing signs of this, since I was in high school. Manipulation, narcissism, um, using what what I have to my benefit, not worrying about the peoples that I was hurting in the process of doing all that. So it's been showing for a long time. I just haven't been diagnosed for the past 5 years.
Hmm. That must be incredibly difficult.
It is. It is. Waking up every day is like, okay, what do I have to deal with today? What
Yeah.
onset is gonna happen?
What is my
And
brain going to do to me today type thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That sucks. How long have you hallucinated for? Since high school
Uh,
as well?
no. Probably three years, 2 years after I started the meds.
Was it because of the meds that you were hallucinating, or no?
No, I just think more things started to happen, and my brain started to break even more, and so more things started to happen to me.
One of the things that I've noticed about me is that once you stop fighting it, and maybe this is all mental. I mean, obviously it's mental health, but maybe it's mental in a way to where we cause it ourselves. Um, Ever since I've accepted the diagnosis and got diagnosed myself, it seems like it's gotten worse to a point. Did you ever feel like that as well?
No, I thought it was as bad as it could be all the time. Like there was never a point in time where I was like, "Oh, this is getting worse." It was just bad from the beginning. If anything, the meds that I'm taking now, they give me a relief some days, but there's nothing that you can say or give me that's going to be like, "Oh, you're going to be all right all the time. Don't worry about it."
So, with narcissism and like a lack of empathy and things like that, I think it's almost harder for you guys to ask for help sometimes. So, how did you get to the point where you said that you needed either a diagnosis or you needed to talk to somebody? Like, what happened?
Well, I didn't. It was my ex-wife that did.
Oh,
She was the one who realized and recognized everything. I was just going on with my normal life.
hmm.
I didn't realize that I was forgetting conversations and telling my kids to do things one day, and then the next day I'm telling them, "Why would I ever say that? That's impossible." So she noticed a breakdown that's happened over a few years, and she was like, "Look, man, you got to get checked out because it's not right."
And you just accepted her explanation?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she at the time she was my wife. I trusted her. I
Mm.
still trust her till this day. We talk all the time. We're still great friends. We have a great relationship, and yeah, I trusted it. So I went, and lo and behold, there was a bunch of things wrong.
Right. Interesting. So nobody before that had ever said anything to you, and you just thought you were just going through life thinking that everybody thought that way?
My friends always thought that I had some like special abilities to, manipulate people and get things that I want. And it didn't matter when or how, I was just able to do it. And to make friends really, really easily because one of my big things is I mimic people's personalities.
Yeah.
And however they are, that's how I'm going to be. And that
Mm.
makes it very easy for someone to take to you, especially if you share the same things.
Yeah. That's people respond to themselves basically and like themselves pretty much automatically. So that's just a and that kind of is a superpower, honestly. I mean,
But it's awful for me because
really.
because I'm never acting how I actually am. So I
Mm.
lose myself, and I have to
Mm.
ask myself, who am I? Who is Chad? What does he really like? What does he really like to do? And
Right.
that has to set me back at some point, and then I have to get a grip on reality, which is not easy,
No.
and bring myself out of something like that.
That's interesting.
So who is Chad?
Chad is drinking a beer right now, trying to talk to you guys.
Well, you're working on your master instructor certificate and all that. How did you start like straight out of high school diving? How did you do all that?
No, it was an engagement present for me and my ex-wife, the one
Mm,
that realized, there was things wrong.
yeah.
We actually went diving and got married while we were scuba diving under the water.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty sweet. And after that, I mean, I had the bug,
Mm,
and I tried working at banking for a while. Doing more suit and tie jobs that I've done my whole life.
yeah.
And she was like, you're not happy. You come home, you hate your life. Why don't you just go down to the Keys and become a scuba instructor? So I did.
She sounds freaking amazing, by the way.
She is.
She should teach classes or something.
She is awesome. It just didn't work out between us. That's all.
Right, of course.
I mean, there was other
It
issues,
happens.
Yeah,
but
I'm
there
not
was
gonna.
other.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna weigh on in this conversation at all.
Thanks.
Yeah, because I have a different feeling about it. But
Oh, okay.
Chad,
Where'd
where'd you
he
go?
go?
Oh, there
Oh,
you
there he is.
go. So do you feel like now that you're doing something that you're passionate about, you have better control of yourself?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I feel that the ocean allows me to be a little bit more of who I actually am, which kind of dumbs down some of those days. But those days happen regardless.
Mhm.
I mean, no, it doesn't matter what day it is. It could be the most beautiful day on the ocean, and I can have sharks everywhere. Everything's perfect. And I'm down there going, I just can't wait to be done with this. And that happens a lot,
Even when you're teaching?
even when I'm teaching.
Mhm.
Teaching is my strong suit. That's what I love. That's what I do. Um, but yeah, even sometimes when I'm teaching, I'm just like, God, I cannot wait to get out of here. I need to get home. I need to be in my bed. I probably need to take some more medicine.
Do
Do
you?
you take medicine as needed?
No, everything is supposed to be regimented
On
every single
schedule.
day, but I do miss some of my meds, and that's
Oh,
something I know I do.
yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it because sometimes I'll forget. And one of my biggest problems is memory. My
Mhm.
memory loss is astounding.
Mhm.
I can barely remember what like conversation I had with Derek a few days ago,
Still, even on medicine?
even on medicine.
Hmm.
Uh,
It's not a cure all.
Yeah.
no, it's not definitely. So one of the things that I've started doing, and you can't do it now, even though it's legal in your where you're at. One of the things that I've recently started doing is supplementing with CBD/THC and stuff like that in order to
Smoking
enhance.
pot to get get out the medical effects.
No, 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 no. I take a THC CBD drop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do drops. But you know, you can't do that anymore. Do you feel like that helped you at all? Because one of the things that we're advocating for now on the show is for that, for specifically medical use, not
Oh my
recreational
God.
use.
Yeah, that was such a huge help. Um, it drowned out some of the anxiety. It allowed me to function more. It let me leave the house. There were so many benefits that I had, but now that I'm under the United States Coast Guard regulations, there's nothing I can do about it. Even if I had a medical card,
Yeah.
they do not allow you to smoke pot at all, any drug, as long as you work on a Coast Guard inspected vessel.
Yeah.
But isn't there a CBD oil that like doesn't have the THC in it, so therefore it doesn't show up?
Yeah, CBD does absolutely nothing for me.
Oh, well, okay.
I've
Yeah.
tried that.
Yeah. I mean, in my research and talking to people that own CBD companies and THC companies and stuff like that, for mild anxiety and for mild, aches and pains and stuff like that, CBD does work wonders for people.
Hmm.
However, once you get into, the deeper stuff,
You
like
need
when
the
I was just
THC.
doing CBD by itself with no THC in it at all,
Mhm.
um, it allowed me to sleep better, but it did
Mhm.
nothing really for my anxiety or anything else like that. But now that I've added the THC drops with it, or they're all one thing, but um, it's my I feel more clear-headed, so I can definitely hear what he's talking about, and that's one of the things again that I'm advocating for big time here.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, it does help.
Clear-headed was the perfect way to say it, because in my mind it's constantly spinning all the time. What's going on? What am I doing? My next steps? What did I do before? What's the future looking like? Everything is always constantly spinning, and I can never get answers.
Yeah.
So whenever I used marijuana, it slowed all that process down. It was easier for me to focus. So, I mean, 100%, it made me clear-headed.
So, are you still in therapy or in counseling?
Not since I've been back to Florida. I haven't gotten a therapist or psychiatrist yet.
But you kind of just got there, right?
Yeah, I've been more worried about getting a place to stay and finding a place to stay than getting that done. Also, I just started a job.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole reason why I came here. So I can't necessarily be like, oh, I need these days off. It's really important. You know, I'm bipolar.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the last thing that you ever want to tell your employer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned like it was really hard for someone like you moving and whatnot. What did you mean by that?
Well, you're going to brand new places, brand new things, brand new people. I'm used to a structure, something that I know is there every day. It's easy for me. I can wake up and it's there. Whether it be my friends, a waterfall, the ocean, diving, it's there. When you change that and you pick all that up and move it, it gives me such an anxiety level that I can't even begin to express to you what it feels like. Yeah, it's absolutely awful. And then you have to come here and then play like you are totally fine, everything's cool, or else someone's going to know something's wrong with you. And then it starts from the beginning.
Yeah.
But you're the one that made that choice. So why, if you're the one that made the choice, why is it affecting you so much?
Dude, I'm bipolar. I don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time.
Well, I think that change in general is hard for regular human beings to deal with.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like we just don't, a lot of us just don't adapt well anyway. And then you add anything else, literally anything else on top of change, and it can be anxiety inducing, period.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
100% right.
Yeah.
But dude, what the hell was I doing flying to Hawaii? Like, for real. Like, I just lifted my whole life up, gave up my car, let it get repoed with no repercussions in mind. It's just like, oh, I'm going to Hawaii. Do.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it.
But do you know how like actually kind of inspiring that is? Like, are you aware of that?
No.
That's amazing that you were able to do that.
Well, okay.
well, here's the thing. So let's be honest.
There are normal people who are too scared to do crap like that, you know?
And with your mental health issues, it's very inspiring, because here's the thing. Because not only are you bipolar 1, narcissistic personality, dissociative disorder, blah, 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 you're also a father to 2 beautiful kids. You take care of people's lives on a daily basis. You know, you're dealing with all this other stuff on top of what you're having to deal with. So that is inspiring, because you're trying to make yourself happy, even though that's a hard thing to do, but you're still able to take care of all these people in your life as well.
Yeah.
And you're functioning on any level.
Yeah, I'm functioning.
Yeah.
I'm functioning. A lot of it's fake. Like when I go to my job and I talk to people, it's completely fake. It has to be, because nobody wants to know the real mood that I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in a customer service tip-driven industry. If I piss off the customers, I'm not going to make any money.
Yeah.
So that's stuff I have to constantly think about and work around.
If you could do anything with your life, what would it be?
It would be this.
Then why doesn't it make it happen? Why doesn't it make you happier?
Oh man, I think there's only a certain level of happiness that I can achieve. I
Well,
don't.
happiness isn't a destination anyway.
Well, no, I feel like if I was doing anything else, which I've done a lot and a lot of suit and tie stuff,
Yep.
and
That's probably faker even than what you
oh
have to do
God,
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why it never lasted.
Yeah.
Mm.
But now I've been doing this since 2014, and I'm 36 years old, and I can say this is probably the longest I've been at something, my whole life.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
remember-
the other problem with us is that we switch jobs a lot.
Mm.
I haven't as much as you have, but I did when I first started my career. I bounced around a lot, um, and I remember at one point you couldn't even work when you first got diagnosed.
No,
Yeah, but it wasn't until this that you were able to finally say, "Okay, I can do this."
right?
So that's another thing too when it comes to mental health issues. Putting on that fake face and doing something just to make other people happy
Yeah,
is a big, big thing. Um,
So I
you
want
can ask
everybody's
me anything you
thoughts.
need.
Well, so here's the thing. There's so many aspects there's so many different opinions about people who fake it. And I am a huge proponent of fake it till you make it. And the reason that I'm a huge proponent of it, though, is because sometimes if you don't know something, but you want to try it, you're going to have to fake it. And in order to be able to learn how to do it, period. If you
Yeah,
want to somehow pick up a clarinet after you've never played a music instrument in your whole life, you have to practice and fake it until you make it and do it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have to do that sometimes with multiple things in order to find the one thing that you love.
I agree with you on that. However, and Chad, you can clarify on your part here in a second.
Mm.
Um, I think the fake it till you make it thing is very, very valid.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that you're trying to fake to make, if it's something that you wish to do. So, say for instance, you're going to be a banker, or like he was, or say for instance, you were going to be a retail manager, like I was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something that I wished to do. It was something that just I did for stability.
Mm-hmm.
So, putting on that fake face every day to make it look like I wanted to be there, versus putting on a fake face in order to brave something that I want to do, are two totally different things.
Right.
You follow me on that one, Chad? You feel the same
Yep.
way?
Yeah. So what I was gonna say was fake it till you make it in a job.
Mm-hmm.
Totally get that, but there's fake it till you make it in life.
Right.
And
That's different.
the
You're
more
right.
I fake it, the more I become someone that I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And the older I get, the worse that's gonna get. So the fake it, I've been trying to get over that for years now. Trying to be who I really am,
Yeah.
which is, I'm nice. I consider others. I love the ocean and what I do on the ocean, and I love opening people's eyes to what I do.
Do you think that your ability, like your superpowers, basically, do you think that actually makes you a better teacher and helps you do what you love ultimately?
100%,
Yeah.
100%, but in the best ways possible.
Yeah.
Now it's the best ways possible. Now it's not like it was, which was the worst way possible.
Right. Mm.
It's a change, but even in my head, I'm saying, how long is this going to last? Because it could go away overnight. It could. It's done that to me before. It could do it again.
Yeah. So Derek mentioned, how old were you when your guys' parents divorced?
Oh, God.
I think I was 15 is what it was, wasn't it? Around that time, Chad?
No, I know how old you were. How old was he?
Then I would have been 12.
Yeah.
I think we were a little bit younger, dude.
It was somewhere around there, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
around
probably
that
like
age.
legally divorced or something, right?
Yeah, somewhere around that age. Yeah.
Yeah. So was that like an extremely or especially rough time for you?
Nope.
Nope. You were fine.
No. Yeah, still remember it. Still remember how I felt. I was fine. I didn't take it hard. I don't even think I cried.
Yeah,
Were you
I actually,
grateful that they broke up when they did?
I don't even think I cared.
Hmm.
Like,
I
honestly.
found out before you did,
Yeah.
because they told me, God, in October of that year that they were getting ready to separate, but they hid it from him until after Christmas, and told me not to say anything, um,
Mm.
and then my dad moved out that January.
You dick.
It's like you're supposed to be my brother. You're supposed to
I
tell me
know.
this shit.
It was like 20. It was like 25 years ago. You're gonna get pissed off about something that happened
You didn't even
25 years ago.
care.
Hey, man. I can bring that up. That's okay.
That's 25 years ago. What does it fucking matter?
That's
um,
funny.
so one of the things that I talk about a lot on this show and even on Suck It Podcast, is the fact that at one point in time it got so bad that I almost ended it twice. Have you ever gotten to that point? Because you and I, honestly, we've never talked about it.
Yeah, no, never even crossed my mind. That's one thing that a lot of my psychiatrists have said. Like, really, Chad? Like, not even once? And I'm like, no, dude, I'm pretty fucking awesome if you think about it. So
You
why would I
are.
want to off myself?
I was gonna say, like, you have a dream life.
Yeah, like,
So many people would be jealous.
yeah. See, here's the thing, though. I have a level of understanding of what's going on. Like, when I see the spider come out of the wall, I know what's going on. I still see it. It's still happening, but it's not like I'm gonna lose my mind and go psychotic. I understand what's happening to me, why it's happening to me. I understand all that. So being me um, isn't as hard as it would be for someone else who doesn't understand what they're going through. The struggles get worse every day, and they have no outlet, no family, no support system. That stuff gets rough. I have all that. You know, I can talk to my brother anytime I want to. He lives in Virginia. I don't get to see him, but I can talk to him anytime I want to. My mother, my father, I can talk to everybody. A lot of people don't have that.
So, do you think that society and okay, so two things. So, do you have anyone else in your family who deals with similar range of symptoms, I guess, as you do?
So our mother does,
But
but
she's on the same level as I am.
she's on the same level as Derek. I got the short stick, and got the my Uncle Price. He is bipolar type 1. He's also been on and off his meds. He's checked into a mental hospital before. Oh yeah, that's another thing that happened to me. I had to get checked into a mental hospital.
Twice, right?
No, they tried twice. Jamie got me out of the first one. That's my ex-wife. And then after that, my mom, the doctors, my ex-wife, everyone said, "Chad, you got to go." So I had to go and check in to a mental hospital for. It was supposed to be for 3 days. It ended up being for 8 days.
What happened that you went and got checked in?
They thought that I was on the verge of hurting myself.
Ah.
Which I
Were you?
wasn't. No, I can't stand pain.
Why did they think that you were then?
Just because of how down I was, and I couldn't bring myself out of my funk. And when you recognize those things as a doctor and you see what people do after those actions and behaviors, they're going to do what they do, and they're going to prescribe, well, going and seeing a hospital. It was either that or they were going to call the cops and take me.
Which is no fun.
Yeah. So we went on our own.
Yeah, because Florida has the Baker Act, which we've talked about before. We do not have that here in Virginia. I don't know if you have it in Maryland,
I don't know.
Kat. Yeah. So at one point in time, like they kept on, using you as a guinea pig,
Oh
which they do
God,
with
yeah.
everybody. For
God, yeah.
for meds, oh, try this, oh, try this, oh, try that, oh, try this,
Mm.
and eventually you went and got like blood testing done in order.
Yes.
So, what was that process like when they finally were able to do
So
that?
so what they do is they take your blood and then they see the levels of each medication that's inside your body. Okay. And then they see if your body's rejecting the meds or if it's accepting the meds based on the levels that they took from the blood from you. So they found that like Depakote and Seroquel, which are very common bipolar meds, those were working for me. But the ones that were controlling my manic episodes, my depression, hallucinations, none of that was working. So just like it is on TV, you'll see a new med. The next thing you know, your doctor is prescribing it. So yeah, it was definitely like a guinea pig situation. And I went through years of med changes. Years. I can't even tell you how many, but it was a lot.
No. When they finally got your meds, quote unquote, right, what was that like for you?
Um, Skeptical. I mean, how can you not be?
Yeah.
Right.
Um, it was but some days were really good, and I can honestly say that some days were really good, but then there's days that outweigh those good, and if you can't get out of bed to go to work, you will get fired. You will get fired. I
Yeah.
understand that, but and I know there's a lot of people that could listen to this and say that guy knows exactly what he's talking about because I can't get out of bed some days, no matter what. You are so depressed, you feel like you are the mattress and you cannot get up.
Yep.
So you are a guy, and you mentioned that your uncle had trouble. Does he still have issues
Oh
like
yeah.
keeping on medication?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had not someone in my biological family, but just someone in my family who was dealing with some issues like that, basically. But it was years ago. This was in I guess it was the late 70s and early 80s. And I feel like it's at least gotten better. Do you think it's improved our view of mental health and especially for men? Because I know for so long guys were just like you were only allowed to have pretty much one emotion and that was it.
Well, I feel that the majority have gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's meds out there that work for people. I
Right.
mean, I went to a group one time back in Orlando, and they said that they went from 18 pills down to 7 pills,
Mm-hmm.
and the pills that they got switched on, it's working. Now they still have to go to group because they still need to be around people that understand them and have been where they are and worn their shoes.
Right.
But for me, it's like the meds are just allowing me to get a paycheck. That's about it. I haven't had a relationship in over 3 years.
Yeah.
I haven't had sex in over a year and a half.
On purpose or
No, dude,
non-intentionally?
it's non-intentionally. It's just shit happens, and I try like the Facebook dating and stuff like that. My mom is a big proponent of getting me to have some type of social interaction with a woman because she knows it's been a long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not working too well, and it hasn't worked for a while. So I'm just like, I am who I am. If someone eventually comes across that can deal with this, then great. But until then, I'm just gonna stay me.
So have you not been on a date in 3 years?
Right.
At all?
At all. Go ahead.
Well, I don't understand that.
I'd fuck things up normally.
Well, but if you haven't been on one, how you're
Oh, I've
basically-
tried. Like we'll
like
talk.
you don't even
or...
get the opportunity to fuck things up.
No, that's kind of what happens beforehand. A lot of people think that I'm preoccupied with something else, because sometimes I don't want to text. I don't want to call. I just don't want to talk to you.
Mm.
And they take that as I'm preoccupied with something else. There's something else going on, and they want no part of it.
Have you had somebody just
Odd.
say, fuck this, I'm not even going to bother to attempt it with you because I know you have issues?
No. No, I haven't gotten that far to even tell someone.
So is it like a case of they just like just communication just drops off?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that happens all the time to everybody. And especially nowadays, like, unless you're physically able to go and see the person pretty quickly, it's...
All of them were within a 20-mile radius. So, yeah, we could see each other pretty quickly.
Did you ask them on a date?
Yeah.
And they said no?
No, they said, yeah, absolutely. We'll go out for dinner, make arrangements. Guess what I didn't do? Make arrangements.
Oh, I see.
See, and it's not because I didn't want to. It's because I just couldn't. I just couldn't do it at the time. And then once you blow that opportunity, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm a fairly forgiving person. I would not. That wouldn't. I'm probably too naive. But anyway.
But you've also had time to talk to me and figure things out about me. So you are a little bit more understanding.
No, I'm genuinely a forgiving person. Like, I'll give you second and third and fourth chances just because I know shit happens.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm probably more forgiving than I should be.
Well, I haven't had that opportunity yet. So when that does pop up, I'll definitely let you guys know.
Well, I hope that they just show them this video. Be like,
yeah, right.
If I don't schedule it, it's not because I don't like you.
Right.
Do you fear... Now, one is an adopted kid, and the other is your biological kid. Do you fear your daughter?
Yes.
Yeah.
How old is she?
10, 11.
11. Has she ever shown any issues or... Yeah.
She is just like her daddy.
Have you talked to her about it?
I have.
What she said? How did that dynamic work?
With an 11-year-old that is mine, pretty well, because she knows what she does. She knows why she does things. Manipulates her parents, tries to get what she wants, and then when it doesn't work, she'll throw this type of tantrum that's not really a tantrum. It's more or less getting them to understand, hey, you better fucking give me what I want, or else this is how it's gonna be. And that's my daughter. That's also why my daughter and my ex-wife couldn't get along, and that was another reason why we got divorced.
So does she live with you, or does she live with her mom?
Lives with her mom.
Oh, okay. And they get along now?
Two different wives. I have a daughter with my first wife, and my son is with my second wife, but I'm not his biological father. I raised him since he was a year and 3 months.
Yeah.
Which one is Jamie?
The one with my son that I'm not the biological father of.
Okay. I'm still confused. But so your daughter and your first wife get along now?
Well, they were always got along. It's their mom.
Yeah, they've always gotten along. It hasn't been the easiest with them, because she really wants daddy in the picture.
Oh, I got it now. I just got it. Sorry.
I was like, I just saw a light bulb. light bulb went off.
It did. My bad.
You have to excuse Kat. Sometimes you have to explain it to her 5 times or
something. No worries. They've always gotten along, but she always wants to live with daddy. Especially since I went to Hawaii, she wanted to come and move with me. She didn't want to be at home. I mean, our relationship is great. It's just the older she gets, the more she wants to be around me.
Well, I mean, also, I think in her case, there's also 3 different bloodlines in that house, because she's got her stepbrothers, which we don't ever say that word. We don't like that word. I know you and I don't like that. And then she's got her half brothers and sisters, and then she's got herself. So it's like all these different generations and families, and it's
Dynamics.
yeah. But with you, that's the
You guys are
one.
alike.
Yeah.
Probably. So she probably feels most comfortable. That would make sense.
That's just my opinion. I have no idea.
And I did fly her to Hawaii. I mean, I am the cool dad.
Oh yeah, yeah. Living in Hawaii was probably a huge draw.
Yeah, that worked.
Now let me ask you this.
I'd want to live in Hawaii over anywhere else too.
Yeah.
I'd rather live in Alaska, but that's just me.
That's fun.
What?
My son would too. He once asked me what the coldest place is like on Earth, and I was like, I mean, you can't exactly go live in Antarctica, but probably like Canada or Alaska. That's nearby.
Siberia.
I was just
Russia,
gonna say it's Siberia.
Yeah, Siberia. And he's like, yeah, I want to go live there. And I'm like, you're so.
No.
Do you think that if your daughter, and we're not going to say names, came to live with you, you'd be capable of raising her on your own?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You'd have two, one being extremely bipolar, one on her way to being bipolar. We would get along perfect.
Sounds like sarcasm.
Yeah. No, I think absolutely 100%.
Do you think that if she lived with you, that it would give you more motivation, I guess, to kind of get out of bed whenever on those days where you don't want to?
I wish I could answer that question. I don't know. When I was raising her, I wasn't going through as many of these issues, so I didn't have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I mean, I would like to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is my daughter.
Right.
And I'm not, and it seems like I'm a shit father because I moved to Hawaii. I came back here. I'm living in Key Largo. I'm not near her at all. Most people would be like, wow, this guy's, a total jerk off.
Well, but you clearly are doing something right if she'd rather go live with you.
Yeah,
personally.
Exactly. And a lot of it had to do with my kids saying to me that I'm not happy. They want me to be happy. So go wherever I need to go be happy. And they don't care. They want a happy father. Yeah. And that's the reason why I did it. If they didn't give me the go ahead, I would have never gone.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, the next step for me is Fiji. So hopefully in the years to come, they see what daddy has to offer. And if they don't go to college, then they come and live with me.
Right. Aw.
Fiji,
man.
I know. So we talked about this last week a little bit when we were introducing you coming out. Yeah. Because I was talking directly to you, even though you weren't on the show. Why Fiji?
Hammerhead sharks, whale sharks, some of the clearest water that you could possibly think of. Very small island, and how they house their instructors is in the resort. So you get to stay in the resort in bungalows, and they have like outdoor showers. Everything is open. I mean, it's just, it's amazing. Oh yeah, and you got a personal chef. They cook. They cook things new every single day.
Oh, so guys, you sold it. Shit. Okay, cool.
I want to be I want my diving license and go be an instructor. Hammerhead sharks, hell yeah,
dude. Yeah, and I still haven't seen one. My brother's caught one, but I haven't seen one in the water.
Yeah, I caught one.
That
fishing.
Brother?
Me? I'm the only brother.
Yeah.
You caught a hammerhead shark?
Hell yeah, fishing off the Cocoa Beach Pier.
It was a baby, but
still, it was good.
Still, did you throw it back?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we don't kill.
I was gonna judge you if you didn't.
Oh, no, we're catch and release only.
Okay.
Well, it's just something that we want to eat.
No, but I did run into a poor nurse shark 2 days ago, that I was taking video of, and I saw a freaking hook in its mouth. and I felt so bad for that for that nurse shark. Like I wanted to go up and take the hook out, but they
Will it
didn't.
eat you if they do that?
No, no. But the people that were fishing, they weren't using the new hooks that are required that rust out of salt water.
Oh.
So then the hook will be gone.
Huh?
So yeah, there's
It'll
a new.
ru-
Oh,
it'll
it
rust
Yeah.
would
out.
have been if they had
Yeah.
used it. So
kind
if
of
you would have
dissolves.
pulled it out, would it have like hurt the shark worse or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Aw.
Unless you would have cut it.
And I heard you talking last week. You were like, sharks? No way. Like sharks are bad. No, sharks just need a hug.
Sharks are great.
They just need a
Sharks
hug.
need a hug. That should be
Yeah.
a t-shirt, Derek.
Sharks
Sharks
just
need
need
hugs
a hug.
too.
I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna
Yes.
make that a shirt today and put on my.
Yes.
I'll have it up today. Go to
Nice.
dckproductions.com/shop and buy
Use a hammerhead shark.
Yeah.
As the
Sharks
picture.
need a hug shirt will be available later today.
Awesome.
I hope I get royalties from that.
Nope.
No, he can't even pay his bills yet. No.
No. Nope. But that'll be available later today. I can tell you that right now. Sharks just need a
Nice.
hug.
Sharks just need a hug, man.
See,
Yeah, I've
and-
kind of heard that sharks are like underwater puppies. Basically, they just like to mouth stuff. You know, that's all.
yeah, it's I gotta tell you, being out here, it's really making a change for me. I gotta like make friends and build that comfortability and that surrounding. And like right now I'm staying at a buddy's house, and now I'm moving out today. There's another change. There's another thing with two roommates that I don't know. So it's like I feel after we're done here today and I go and I try to start moving stuff in, there goes that anxiety. I'll become manic. I'll feel like I need to do all these different things and my brain will go crazy, and I'll have to reflect on this conversation just to try to bring me down.
Is there any like habit or something that you've figured out to do that helps any of that? Like
Yeah,
breathing
self-medicate.
exercises or something?
Oh no, I self-medicate. It's the worst thing
Oh.
possible.
Yeah.
It's no, and it's honest, man.
No, yeah.
I know I'm not the only one out there that does that.
No, Derek
just
talks
like-
about it too.
I was before this, I was like, it's my day off. I got to move some stuff in, but I want to have a couple beers because I'm not feeling it today.
Mm.
So I have some beers to settle me out. Is that okay? Hell no. I'm using alcohol as a substitution for medicine,
Mm.
and that's something that I know is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
because I only drink probably once or twice a week.
Mm.
But our family is.
Right.
Our family comes from alcoholics. So it's a tough thing to do, but unfortunately, it is what it is.
But didn't you say at one point that you thought you were an alcoholic?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But then
Uh-huh.
as I got older, it just didn't overtake me like I thought it was going to. Like
Well, why
I
did you think you were an alcoholic?
because it was an everyday, multiple times a day. Every chance I got, I would
Mhm.
drink. And then
You were able to overcome it on your own type deal?
oh yeah, I never did like AA or meetings or nothing like that.
Stopped.
It just stopped. Like it just went away,
That's
which is
interesting.
awesome.
Yeah.
So that means that your chemical dependency never built one on it, which was so that's a huge sign of addiction.
I think I did, but for some reason, I don't know if it's being bipolar or whatnot, but it just was never able to overcome me. I think I did have that addiction part to it because it did suck for a little bit when I stopped, but I just didn't want to drink.
Mm.
Your niece just put in the comments, "I miss you, Uncle Chad."
Joe?
That was Joe, yeah.
Oh, tell Joe I love her.
She can hear you. She's watching the show.
Oh, good. I love you, Joey.
Who says hi to Maddie too? Tell Maddie.
Well, Maddie's watching too, so.
Oh, is she?
Um, so let me ask you this.
She's watching?
Yeah.
I wish you would have told me that.
Guys,
Anyway.
this was awesome to be on this and do this.
We appreciate it. I mean, the thing about it is, mental, I love doing this show because we talk about real things. So, like, when I do Suck It podcast Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. West, slight little plug there. We talk about mental health, but I talk about it with celebrities and comedians and actors and actresses and all these famous people. But that's all fine and dandy. But doing this show on a weekly basis, talking about who I am and stuff like that, and then having you on today, it means more to me. Yes, obviously, talking to a mental health survivor that is able to go be an actor and actress, it's huge. Because people will come to my show just for that, experience to find out who, somebody that they watch in a movie, who they really are. But seeing somebody in the real world that is able to function and have a real job, and take care of
job,
cool ass job. That's but
Thank you.
But that takes care of human lives. I mean, they're your responsibility when you're in the water.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, taking care of kids and stuff like that, that's a huge impact on society. So people are going to come here and watch this and go, holy shit, if he can maintain a job, so can I. And that's what this whole idea of this show is about. But both shows, really, that you're not alone in your daily struggles.
Follow your dreams and, have a happy life.
And dude, you can be like this and you can follow your dream. You absolutely can. I don't make a lot of money. I don't have a nice car. I'm not going to live in the nicest place. But those are decisions that I made because I need to be happy. And this job makes me happy. I also feel like I'm the richest person in the world because I can go to Fiji or Bali or Indonesia or Thailand and get a job like that.
Yeah.
Not many people will ever travel the world like that.
No.
And I got a late start. I should have done this years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you regret not doing it sooner?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. If I would have chased like I should have, then who knows where I'd be sitting right now.
Yeah.
But like those people that are actors and actresses and, famous that are bipolar, I can totally see how they're actors and actresses, because you take on a personality, you make it your own, and you actually literally become that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how I feel about it, because that's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
When I am up on stage doing stand-up comedy, or when I'm on this show, or even 7 years ago when I was wrestling, I took on a persona.
Yeah.
And even though those personas, even the one except for this show, I usually don't put on a persona for this show, but those personas are just an extension of who I am,
which I prefer, by the way.
You enjoy me being on Suck It podcast too, because we have a lot of fun. But the thing about it is,
I like who you are too. We can have fun with you.
Yeah, but it's easy to step away from who I am for that moment and become somebody else, because it's an escape from reality. It's like when I was Lucas Taylor as a professional wrestler, I got to go into a side of a ring and say all these crazy things and escape being Derek for that 30 minutes, hour, however long it was. And then the moment I take off the makeup, put on my regular street clothes and walk away, it was like, shit, I don't like who I am. And the only time now, it's like, it sucks, but at least I know that now. When I'm hanging with my friends and family, I try to incorporate pieces of, my persona into who I am, because that's when I'm happiest. You know what I mean? So it's like, if that's what makes you happy and that's who you are, and when you're acting or or whatever, Obviously, that's who you are. So bring pieces of that into you, and say, okay, instead of dialing it up to an 11 or 12 like I do, just dial it up to a 9 and be that same person without being in front of the camera, because that's who you enjoy being. So be that fucking person.
Right.
And that's what I figured out.
But
I had this conversation with my best friend, Maddie, a while back, because like when I first started doing the show, it's like, oh no, that's just a character that I've built for myself. And then I started thinking about it, like, wait a second, no, that's who I am. I just need to dial it back a little bit from the show versus reality, and once I'm able to do that, I'm happier. You follow me on that, Chen?
um, I mean, I see what you're saying, but man, it doesn't matter for me if I put on that other persona. Sometimes it still doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you do. Your ugly side is showing through, and this illness that we have to deal with, um his it's like Mother Nature, man. Mother Nature always wins. You never go up against Mother Nature.
Nope.
Well, see, that's where I disagree. And I've talked about this a couple times, and I'm going to go ahead and mention it again, because I don't know if I mentioned it when you were watching last week. There was this movie that was in the 90s, and I forgot what it was called again. But it was about a fat kid who was trying to prove or disprove the realization of normal. And he did a science experiment where he took two different microorganisms and he put one of these things in this environment that was not his atypical environment. So he put one organism into a whole community of other organisms where they either adapted or died, and proving that there is or isn't a normal. And when you take somebody that is not your atypical person and put them in a community of others that are not the same way they are, whether it's the world or, just an apartment complex, they either have to adapt or die. Well, that's kind of like what mental health is. You either adapt or you die. And if you die, that would prove that there is a certain level of normalcy in the world. But there's not. So by adapting, you're proving that you can, survive in a non-normal environment for who you are, even though that's not really what's going on. So the whole case of, existing just to exist isn't really a fact. You adapt or die.
I think you're looking at it as a whole, as in bipolar people in general. There's the ones that can survive, and then there's the ones that can't survive. I also believe that people that are in our situation, if you are on heavy medications from an early age, well, how long can you sustain that type of living? How long can your body sustain that type of living? It's not like the meds are going to drop over years. Your brain doesn't get better. It doesn't heal itself. It's an illness. That's what's going on. And me personally, I feel like, man, I'd be satisfied to live to 60. That's why I do what I do now. Because who knows how long I have. I mean, I'm on 17 pills a day. 17 pills a day. Well, I mean, it's not like your kidneys and your liver and all your major organs are just going to sustain this type of medication for 70 years and you're going to be totally fine. So, looking at it like a whole, man, there's a lot more than goes into it than just, living or dying.
That's true.
So your medication is eventually going to kill you?
Well, what does medication pass through?
I mean, your whole blood system.
Liver and kidneys.
Right.
Liver,
So
kidneys, heart.
How long do you think that you're going to be able to process medication like that at such a high rate, such a high level, before your body goes, dude, we did our job for so many years, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So do I eventually think it's going to kill me? No. I think my illness will eventually kill me. And that's the honest to God truth.
What do you mean by that, though? Because do you mean your illness, or do you mean the medication from having to take?
Right.
I
The
see.
medication that you have to take because of the illness. Now, I could not take medication, but nobody wants to be around me if I'm not on medication.
Yeah.
No, that's a Chad that nobody wants to know, nobody wants to be around, and one that I wouldn't want to be around.
I would, because I love you.
That's bad Chad.
I would do that
Well,
because
so that Chad can't adapt, though.
No.
No.
And I can't do half of the things that I could do now.
Yeah.
You know, like just getting into my car and driving to go get coffee out of pure enjoyment. That's the plus for me. Like, that's a good day. Most people are like, dude, I go to get coffee all the fucking time. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm talking about is the fact that if you can achieve one small thing that brings any source of happiness, that was a good day. And if you do bigger things, great, man, that's a bonus.
Right.
But unfortunately, the life that we lead comes with a lot of negative, and it's hard getting past it.
Yeah.
Do you feel that if you would have been diagnosed sooner, or accepted, what you already knew or what your friends were telling you prior to Jamie telling you 5 years ago, do you think your life would be different?
Yep. I feel if I had heeded the warnings that were there years before, who knows, dude? I might even still be with Sonia, my first wife. Who knows? I know your face right now doesn't say want to say that, but
Oh God.
but dude, I could have ended up staying with Jamie too. It's just I don't know how life could have been much different.
Your niece just said scary if you were still with Sonya.
Yeah, I think we all agree.
So do you think that? So do you regret, I guess, not having heeded those warnings, basically?
Oh my God, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Those warnings should have been taken seriously and dealt with when they presented themselves. But I didn't. And being bipolar is a big reason why I didn't. Did I know at the time? No, I didn't know at the time. But could I go back and change it? Hell yeah. Because who knows where I'd be sitting again right now.
Have you ever thought that who knows where you would have been sitting, though, if you had have gone sooner, and maybe it would have also turned out in a negative way?
Yeah, because, if that was the case, you wouldn't have Gabe, possibly, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. But in all honesty, I don't think it would have mattered. I still think the regiment would have been there of meds. I still think the guinea pig mentality still would have been there. So go ahead.
Do you think that they should have done the blood test before they did it? Like, I don't know how that process was for you, or like how long it took them to start all that.
Well, it was definitely a time after.
Yeah. Was it because you requested it, or did they finally just be like,
they
I don't fucking know, dude?
They finally said, I don't fucking know.
Wow.
The reason being is because if someone comes in and presents signs and symptoms,
right?
Okay, and this is something you've been treating for 20 years. You're going to start them on the things that are the most common and the most likely to treat those signs and symptoms.
Right.
But when they don't, now they got to come up with new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And then that doesn't. And then new ideas. And then so on and so forth. So,
do you think it would have been a different process or a better process or a worse process if they would have started the blood testing right off the bat?
well, they wouldn't have known because I didn't have that many medications in my system at the time.
Correct, because it checks the levels and how the medications are working with your body. So if you don't have any medications in your body, they'll never know.
Yeah,
Right.
but like if you start the first dose of whatever medications and
Oh, I
it
see what you're
doesn't
saying.
wind up working, wouldn't they like I still don't understand
No, you're right. You're right.
why they don't immediately go to a blood test. We have the ability, we have the technology. Why don't they do this more often? It
So,
bothers me. Sorry.
okay, so if understand you correctly, you're saying that if they were to start with like 3 meds
Mm-hmm.
and do a blood test a month after
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
to see, because it's all about therapeutic levels.
Mm-hmm.
Are the medicines within therapeutic levels to make you feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Could they have done that after every 3? Yes. But I would have had to stay on just 3 meds or just 2 meds for a month,
Mm-hmm.
then do a blood test, and then do another round for another month, and then a blood test. So it's almost like watching House.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all seen House.
Yeah.
Okay, they
Mhm.
treat the symptoms, and then if it doesn't get better, then they treat for different symptoms.
Right.
Like that's kind of how it went. And I don't think that if they would have done the blood tests every month or every 2 months, I really don't think it would have made a difference.
But also, I think too, and we just had this comment because people make more money off the experiment, which is 100% true.
Oh
But
yeah.
but here's the biggest problem, and I think this kind of deals with it. You know, when you go to a doctor, Kat, and you're there for, say, for instance, you're there for birth control, hypothetically speaking.
Sure.
The doctor is going to prescribe to you the birth control that a pharmaceutical rep just came in and sold to them, and now they're going to make a bonus off of that birth control. Now, if that birth control doesn't work, then they're going to put you something else. But they're going to most likely, prescribe anything to you that they're making a bonus off of, because now that pharmaceutical rep has come in there and said, "Hey, you sell this much of Zoloft or this or Wellbutrin, blah 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 blah," then you get X amount of dollars. So that's one of the biggest problems. So like, I can't say that the doctor that I was that originally working with was under Zoloft, but Zoloft is what made me suicidal.
Oh my God, Zoloft destroyed me.
It destroyed mom as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, but again, so that's what it really comes down to. So I think while the blood test is great, one of the biggest problems is those damn pharmaceutical companies, sending fucking, pharmaceutical reps into these doctors' offices to make money off of something that may or may not work for you.
Right, but I do have to give them some credit because they found one that worked for me, and it was on TV. And the next thing I know, I'm in my doctor's office, and they have samples of it, and I took it, and lo and behold, I'm still on it, and it works. It's for bipolar and schizophrenia, so it handles my personality changes along with my bipolar. So that was one of those TV deals where the pharmaceutical companies just dropped off, 500 boxes to give out to people, and it worked. And I'm still on it now.
So I need to read this because she's right, and I need to accentuate this. So thank you.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer: that is not all physicians, and
Right.
we can recognize, however, the fact that it does happen. So again, that was just my opinion, not a medical or actual fact.
Wait, what was that
Right.
in reference to?
The fact that I was talking about, doctors
making
only
money off certain medications.
doctors making
Oh,
money.
okay.
Off, yes, yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, and it happens too often because I think that we can, identify it and that it is an issue. I mean, just simply based on the fact that America is run on the system medically that it's run on. It's stupid for the average person. It's not stupid for doctors or for pharmaceutical companies because they make a shit ton of money, but it's stupid for the average person.
But yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's stupid. I'm gonna say it
Needs fixed.
definitely. Yeah, it definitely prolonged the process of me at least getting somewhat stable. Because there were months. No, not even months. What was it, Derek? It was almost a year
Almost a year.
that I couldn't even work.
Yeah.
Like I would get a job and then I would get fired.
Right.
Like
Which is
right.
not a way to live.
No.
You can't. Even.
No. So going back to the blood tests and all that and the meds, man, I think it's like the round robin. You know, you're just gonna have to throw the darts at the dartboard, hope you hit a 20 or a bullseye, and you get it right. If not, you're gonna have to throw more darts.
Right.
So let me ask you this, and I think that's pretty much all I have. One of the biggest things that took me a long time to come to grips with was the fact that it was okay to not be okay. And it's okay to have mental health issues, especially for a man.
See, I'm still not there.
Okay, well, not everybody is, but my here's what I'm asking. So again, for a long time, men, especially, like, and Kat already mentioned this, that, we're only allowed to have one emotion, or, and, depression is for women, or whatever the case might be.
Right.
What is your advice to men dealing with this that refuse to acknowledge it?
But dude, don't be bold or brave or try to think that it's gonna mess with your masculinity. It's not. We need help, dude. And the only way that we find it is by asking for it. So sorry, I'm in the fridge grabbing one more beer.
You're good.
Give me a sec.
That's fine.
If you don't, it's gonna start ruining your life. And if it hasn't already, it will. And it'll get worse. And the worse it gets, everyone around you suffers too. Mm-hmm. So getting help just doesn't help you. It helps everyone around you. Family members, friends, coworkers, bosses, everything. And it makes you probably able to sustain a normal life for, a portion of the time. I'm not going to say that it's going to be all the time. You're totally healthy and everything's great. But if you're a man, you can't say, oh, I don't need help. I can do this on my own. I just turned 36 years old and I've been dealing with this for 5 years. And I wish I would have asked for help sooner. I wish I would have gotten help when I was in high school. Yeah. Now, looking back, absolutely. So any man that's out there that's listening to this, do not try to feel that you're going to be belittled or your masculinity is gone. It's a disease. It's an illness. It affects you. So get help for it.
Yeah. Is there anything about it?
Myself.
Yeah. Is there anything about it that you're actually grateful for?
Yeah. Get my way. I mean, but that's such a bad thing, though. It is. I should be able to take consequences like everyone else. I shouldn't be able to talk my way out of things and get what I want when I want, how I want it. That's manipulative. That's awful.
Yeah.
I've been working on it for years, but it doesn't go away because it kicks in like that. It's almost like a self-preservation mode.
Oh yeah. It's a defense mechanism.
It is. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I'm thankful for is the ability to understand other people at a high level.
Yeah.
I can look at people, I can read them, I can understand them, and then, of course, I mimic them.
Right.
So, again, is that great? No. But
not
does
all
it?
The time, but it can.
No,
be,
but
right?
it does help me through life.
Yep. I always appreciate the aspect of trying to embrace our superpowers, and even appreciating the negative sides of them, because you also, because you have that self-awareness,
Mm-hmm.
or human awareness, I guess, you're also able to look at yourself and do the same thing for yourself.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's where I feel that I differ from most people that suffer from this,
Mm-hmm.
is because I am completely 100% aware of what's going on.
Right.
I,
Which is
and
amazing.
it is.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait, Chad.
we lost him.
Hold on.
Oh, we got him back. Kind of. Almost.
Spam risk.
Spam risk. Oh, we got a phone call.
I got a phone call.
I see.
Sorry,
It's
You're
okay.
good.
the camera's not coming back, but you still got my voice.
Yep. You're good.
Okay, so what were you saying?
You were actually talking about how you're self-aware and can.
Oh yeah, that I can have that ability to understand. Again, the spider's not there, the snake's not there. Um, that what I'm doing to people isn't really me,
Right.
and that helps.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there that don't even understand what's going on to them right now. And
Right.
those are the ones that I want to say, dude, get help. If any of this sounds familiar, ask somebody.
Right.
Get the help that you need,
Mhm.
because from the horse's mouth, it can get bad, and it can get really bad.
Yeah.
Yep. Chad, I appreciate you coming out today. I know I'm sure this was hard for you, but I appreciate what you did, because you're gonna touch a lot of lives, man. Let me tell you that.
Well, I don't like doing this, I got to tell you, but I
Mhm.
do it because you're my brother and I love you.
I love you
Um,
too, man.
and no, I just don't like opening up about it.
Mm.
It's not my thing.
Yeah. Well, again, I
Well, I'm
appreciate
glad
you
you
doing
did.
that. Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too.
Yeah, and if anything ever comes up in the future for you guys, people have questions, they have, whatever, I'm always here, and I'll always do anything you need me to.
He'll watch the comments if you guys want to leave a comment and ask a question.
Yep.
Maybe he can answer it for you.
Yep.
Yep.
But dude, I appreciate it again, man.
Wow, we've been on for an hour and 44.
Yeah.
Well, we have. You came on 20 minutes
Well,
later, but
you,
yeah.
you know.
But either way, an hour and a half you've been on. So either way, this is actually our longest mental health hour. We usually go like an hour and 10,
Yeah.
hour and 15 minutes.
I
But
usually
dude,
make him cut it off, but I didn't want to.
yeah. But no, dude, let me just tell you, I appreciate it, and
Yeah, absolutely.
this is gonna open a lot of people's eyes. So I appreciate it.
I
Yeah, that's
appreciate you
super
guys
awesome of
too.
you.
All
Thanks
right,
for
man.
having me on.
You too. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye,
All right,
Kat.
Thanks. Bye. Nice to meet you. Oh, you cut him off.
I didn't mean to. But that was awesome.
That was super awesome. I
That
have
was super
to pee
awesome.
like a Russian racehorse.
But that was a good episode, and I appreciate you being
Super.
here.
Of course, always.
But
I appreciate
yeah,
you being here and having your brother come on. That was super cool.
that was really cool. All right, so Kat and I will be back next week, Monday. Next Monday, noon East, 9 West. Check out the newest episode of The Teachable Soul that just popped up today.
Lucy Lou.
And then tonight, 8 o'clock, the return of Ike and Tim on Suck It Podcast together. Bring your diapers, bring your Depends, whatever, because we're going to make you piss your pants because it's going to be so damn funny.
Right.
So tonight, check that out. But until next week, we love you. We will talk to you soon.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye.